actually. Really good.
Good. So you're coming to the cast party on the 18th?
On one condition. You give me a part in your new screenplay. Oh, come on. I really need the money. And aside from the money, you have no idea how truly talented I am.
Oh, believe me, I am well aware of your talent. In fact, this part just opened up that you'd be terrific for. It's a weekend engagement.
What kind of part is it?
Well, it's not so much a party. It's more of a it's a personal favor.
Tell me more about this personal favor.
Well, hey, you either want to make $20,000 or you don't.
What kind of details does this favor entail?
You'd be my escort for the weekend.
This sounds to me like you want me to prostitute myself.
I wish you put it some other way.
How would you put it?
This weekend, you'd be satisfying my urges.
You want to pay me $20,000 to have sex with you?
I don't want to pay you $20,000 to hear you recite Stanley Kowalski's lines from Streetcar.
Look, you don't know me that well. I consider myself to be the straightest man on earth. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I'd like to think it is. I mean, especially now with my wife being pregnant. We want to buy this house, and Margot's a really good friend of the realtor, but he's only keeping the house off the market until Tuesday. If we don't have the money by then, we're going to lose that magnificent house.
And what makes it so magnificent?
Well, there's a skylight in the living room, and 12 rooms that are absolutely gigantic. Imagine 2 fireplaces, one in the living room and one in the bedroom. Solid brick framework with a 2-car garage, finished basement with a barn. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy to get excited about a house, but I'm exactly that guy.
Well, then it sounds like you cannot afford not to accept my offer.
So if I say no, I lose the house. And if I say yes, I lose all my self-respect. Why is nothing ever easy?
You want easy, forget 20. Let's make it 30,000 in cash. Do we have a deal?
Wow. It's a lot of money. I'm gonna have to talk to my wife about this.
Most men, you realize, wouldn't even tell their wives.
I tell Margot everything, and she tells me everything. You mind if I just send her a quick text?
If that's what you need to do.
I'll be right back.
So, what's the verdict? Does she allow you to do it?
She wants to meet you. As a matter of fact, she's only a few blocks away.
Well, this goes for a celebration. Presuming that is that your wife approves of me. You know, I never met any man that tells his wife everything. I mean, can you really tell her?
Depends.
On what?
It's not something I'm willing to discuss right now.
Well, here's to hoping you get your wife's consent.
Have you, ever paid other men to have sex with you?
Well, that is not something that I care to discuss right now, but here. I put together a list of sexual activities so that nothing comes as a surprise for you. I mean, that is, providing your wife grants you permission.
I have to talk to Margot about this.
Oh, boys, I finally made it.
Hi. I want to introduce you to the world-acclaimed film director, Payne Black.
Hello.
Please sit.
Thank you.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
As pleasurable as it is meeting me, I'm sure it was even more pleasurable for you to have met my husband.
I appreciate your candor.
So, how many men have you paid to sleep with you?
Answer's the first.
How do I know that's the truth?
You don't, it just is. We just can't be sure.
Is it true you're offering my husband 60 grand for his body this weekend?
No. Where did 60 come from? The amount is 30, which, by the way, is more than generous.
Why not 60?
Is that why your wife is here, so you two can team up to hustle me?
Hustle you? The only one you're trying to hustle is my husband. And not for a couple of hours, but for the whole weekend. Only you're too cheap to pay him what he's worth. I'm sorry. With my hormones raging, I've been a tad irritable lately. I apologize.
That's okay. I understand.
I'm not sure you do about the amount. I mean, 30 grand would have been okay if this was 1996 or something, but in these tough economic times, 60,000 really isn't all that much. Look, I've seen with my own eyes how men react in Hunter's presence. Obviously, you have no conception of his sex appeal, and that's really sad.
Are you here acting as his agent? Understand one thing, I'm not made of money.
But you do have the financial resources, otherwise you wouldn't have made the offer.
Can I say something here?
Quiet! Can't you see I'm trying to negotiate?
Aha, you are acting as his agent.
All wives are their husband's agents. If not, they should be. Now, as I was saying, I have seen how gay men react to Hunter and I when we're out in public, and obviously they hate that I'm right next to him because they cannot make any overt advances.
Why are you telling me this?
So you'll have an accurate perception of Hunter's true worth.
I can't go through with this. I can't. I'm not going to go.
Relax. It's just a temporary case of stage fright. He will be superb if the time comes, if negotiations run smoothly.
I think I have a say in this. I'm the one
2 days before our wedding date, he had a massive panic attack, but on the night of our wedding, oh, he was sensational. So sensational, in fact, that I became pregnant. Unfortunately, I miscarried. So you see, despite his brief periods of anxiety and indecision, Hunter is passionate, well endowed, and very virile. So, with all due respect, I feel that $60,000 in cash is perfectly justified.
Well, 30 is more than generous. I'm not budging from that amount.
Could we have a little privacy?
Are you suggesting that I leave my own office?
Just for a few minutes. You just have to be that man's bitch. It is so worth it.
That's easy for you to say. You're not the one who has to have sex with him.
I would for 60 grand, but he's not into vaginas, literally.
Why do you keep saying 60? He said 30.
What's another 30 to him? He's loaded. But you have to find out exactly what is he expecting from you, what does he want to do, and for how long before we close the deal. Honestly, for that kind of money, I let him do whatever the fuck he wants. Oh. Huh. Not bad. And you know the best part? Nowhere does it say he gets to fuck you in the ass.
Well, if it did, would you not want me to go through with it?
No, I still want you to go through with it, but this is so much better.
You know, what if I just refuse to be his bitch?
Then you and you alone will be the reason why we don't get that beautiful big house. We'll be struggling financially for at least 3 years. Hunter, you can't say no, not for that kind of money.
I don't feel right about this.
You're not supposed to. There's something wrong with you if you did. This is a chance to make a huge amount of money in just 2 days. You can't pass this up. It's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Is that the kind of improvisational crap they teach you at the actor's studio? I would not call this the opportunity of a lifetime.
Think of it this way. This weekend you'll be flexing your acting muscles by playing on a hooker.
My acting muscles aren't the kind that Payne wants to flex.
But Hunter, 60 grand is a lot of money.
Why do you keep saying 60? He says 30.
I can talk him into 60. I can talk anyone into anything.
So, do we agree to do it for 30,000, or we call this whole thing off?
Have you ever had a partner that's been unfaithful?
I never had a partner.
Why not?
What I look for in a partner is very hard to find.
What are you looking for that's so hard to find?
In addition to good looks, I want a man who's straight.
Now you've lost me.
I want a straight man who will only be gay for me. You see, I believe it's every gay man's fantasy to conquer a straight man, just like I believe it's every straight man's fantasy to conquer a lesbian. I mean, for me to be sexually aroused, the man has to be straight, in addition to young and good-looking. Irony is that a young, good-looking, straight man is not likely to be attracted to me. Now, of course, if he's truly straight, he'll be attracted to women.
Well, I think you're trying to
Wait!
say...
I find a certain fascination in your twisted logic. Please continue.
There are occasions in which a straight man will have sex with a gay man, but only for money. And lots of it. Wouldn't you agree, Hunter?
Generally speaking, I think...
This weekend, I'll be alone. Being alone in any condition is depressing, but to be alone in my advanced state of pregnancy will be mental agony. Do you know what I'll be thinking while Hunter is doing it with you? The bastard is cheating on me, and not only will I suffer in the knowledge that my husband is cheating on me, but I'll be thinking if he's actually enjoying it.
Oh, whoa! There is no way in hell I will be enjoying it. No offense.
None taken.
Since my pregnancy, my hormones have been raging. Every time you leave the house, I worry about you.
Why? Do you think I'm gonna get mugged or something?
No, not mugged, but I do think about something. I'm afraid you'll strike up a conversation with a seductive tramp. Then one thing will lead to another. And you'll end up having an affair. I live in a constant state of fear that you'll cheat on me.
Why must you torture yourself with these thoughts? Margot, you're the only woman I love.
Pregnancy turns former rational women into irrational lunatics. And how should I say this diplomatically? All men are pigs. Gay, straight, and bisexual. When the urge strikes, men will resort to anyone for sexual satisfaction, no matter how in love they are. Must you be in here? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. This is your office. Of course you can stay.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to watch someone so unguarded.
Don't forget, Hunter. Have sex with me. I just love a challenge. Just kidding. Hunter, I wish I could stop having these thoughts, but statistics don't lie. Do you know how many men end up having affairs? And they all try to reassure their wives with the same old line, "You're the only one I love," and there's never a shortage of single women in search of married men, and they're not all single either. Some of them are married, I should know. It's burning up in here. Can someone open up a window or turn on an air conditioner? I met a handsome married man on the #1 train.
What?
Don't jump to any conclusions until you hear me out.
Hold on, how did you know he was married?
He was wearing a wedding ring. All began when he offered me his seat.
It's nice to know there's still gentlemen out there that'll offer their seat to a pregnant lady.
Would you like to sit, he asked. I was carrying heavy bags, so I said, sure, thank you. Then, as I sat down, I took out this book, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Then, when I sat down, he looked at me and he said, do you think the movie did the book any justice? And I said, no, I don't think movies do justice to any book. Then, he smiled to me and he said, would you believe I have a deteriorating portrait of myself in the attic? and that I'm 96 years old? I smiled, but I didn't utter another word. Then, as I went back and I pretended to read, I could see from my peripheral vision he was addressing me with his eyes.
Why are you telling me this now?
What's the big deal? Nothing became of it.
If it's no big deal, why bring it up? What's the point?
The point is, opportunities for extramarital affairs are everywhere. This handsome, charming, witty...
Oh, please don't run into adjectives to describe this man.
considerate man was waiting for me to make the next move. Luckily, I expressed no interest, but if I had, he would have asked for my number, and then we would have had an affair.
But you didn't, did you?
No, but I could have. The allure of a handsome man, married or unmarried, is a little hard to resist. You out of all people should agree with that.
Most certainly.
So you see, $60,000 for a weekend alone with my husband is not unreasonable. After all, he'll be unfaithful to me for 2 days and 3 nights. So, are we in agreement?
I suppose.
Have you ever seen Hunter without his clothes on?
No, but I am really looking forward to it.
Take your shirt off. It is an honorable business practice to allow the customer to inspect the merchandise before he makes the final purchase.
What?
Relax. It's not like if I'm asking you to let him sample your penis. After all, call girls don't allow their prospective clients to sample their vagina, so why should you allow a prospective buyer to sample your most precious asset? So, are you sure you won't mind if my Hunter takes off his clothes?
Absolutely not.
Take off your shirt. He's entitled to see what he's getting into, so to speak.
You expect me to get undressed right here, right now?
No, not here and now. An hour from now in the third stall of the men's room in the Museum of Natural History. Of course, now, strip.
Just my shirt?
Just your shirt. What do you think?
I think you are a very lucky woman to have a husband like Hunter to whom you can make love every night, every day, anytime you want. I'm very impressed.
Ooh, how I wish I could see the fireworks. Oh well, at least I can still text you and call you.
Oh, no. That's out of the question.
Not one phone call or text
There
message?
would be absolutely no electronic devices of any kind for the whole time that we're together. Is that understood? Is that clear?
What about breaks?
Breaks? What do you think you are? Some kind of low-wage clerk at the Home Depot? For the amount of money that I am paying you, there will be no interruptions or distractions of any kind.
What about the baby? What if I go into
You
labor?
don't need Hunter to deliver the baby. Once the baby comes, the role of the father becomes, shall we say, anticlimactic.
That wasn't bad, but what is in fact bad, horrible, is that you won't allow hunters to take a couple of breaks. It's un-American. It's very unfair.
Oh, you want to talk unfair? I'm being exploited here, okay? This weekend is costing me 60 grand. Now, who's doing whom a favor? I don't like being taken advantage of. In fact, I'm tempted to call this whole thing off.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I tend to push too hard, which will come in handy once I start having contractions. Okay, you win. No electronic devices and no breaks.
Good. Now, let's get the show on the road. Time is money, and without my money, you wouldn't give me the right time. So, fix up your shirt so we can get our special weekend started.
Can we have a minute?
Here's my address. If I have to wait for you for more than 1 hour, this whole deal is off. Are we clear on that?
Crystal clear.
Hey, this certainly,
Rich and frustrated director?
you know why I'm feeling so insecure. Yes, I do. I know exactly why.
Hey, I can still call the whole thing off. Just say the word and I will not go through with it.
No, you have to do it. You need the money. By Monday, this weekend will be over, and they will be homeowners. Hello? Huh? What is it? No. This weekend is no good. Hunter has this secret project with his director. Yeah, it's all weekend. His director in more ways than one. Look, I don't know what I mean by that. Okay, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.
Why couldn't I just be as rich as Plain Black?
Hurry up. If you're late, he'll cancel the whole thing.
I don't think so. I think he's obsessed with me.
That's what worries me.
What did you say?
Look, just go to him. The sooner you go to him, the sooner this whole weekend will be over, and then you can gorge me with all the details.
I might not know what's in store for me, but I know one thing. I will never, ever discuss it.
What?
I don't think I'll be able to live with myself after it's over.
This weekend will give us that down payment on that beautiful and spacious house. And a tidy cushion. You could at least have the decency to pretend you didn't enjoy it. I've heard people talk about loneliness all my life, but I never understood what they meant. This weekend, I finally understand what loneliness is. It's a feeling I never want to experience again. I was never so thrilled for a weekend to be over.
Well, the house is now a reality. Really felt great to punch out that deposit slip along with that big wad of cash. Is it my imagination, or do bank tellers treat you with much more respect when you make huge deposits?
Speaking of huge, did Payne have a big one? Well, does he?
I'm not discussing it.
If you're not willing to discuss it, then that means you secretly love doing it.
Can you please drop it?
Oh, you want me to drop the subject the way you drop your semen? Tell me, how many times did you ejaculate? Okay, if you won't answer that, then answer this one simple question. Did he suck you more than you sucked him? Tell me what happened. The stress of not knowing is damaging my fetus.
Damaging your fetus?
You're so out of touch with research studies done on pregnant women. Did you know anxiety is detrimental to the fetus? Any emotional turmoil can have adverse effects on a child's development. My head's been buried in books all weekend. I'd rather suffer from a physical disease than suffer from the loneliness I have felt this weekend. In other words, I've been catching up with my reading while you were sucking and fucking.
I did discuss this with you. If you really didn't want me to go through with it, why didn't you say something?
When I agreed you should do it, I had no idea I would feel so lonely, inadequate, inferior.
How you feeling has nothing to do with what I did. It's all about your emotional state because of your pregnancy.
It didn't occur to me on Friday, but it's so clear to me now. I am married to a man who humiliated and degraded himself.
I need to take back the blender I loaned you.
Mom, did you ever hear of knocking?
The door was open. By the way, you shouldn't leave the door open. Where do you think you're living? Des Moines, Iowa, circa 1954.
My fault, I left the door open.
This is a crime-infested city. There's no shortage of rapists.
Oh, come on! Who would want to rape me in this condition? By your son-in-law. Now, he's another story. He may say he got raped, but it was consensual rape.
Margot, don't.
This place is a mess.
Ma, we're moving. Did you know that Hunter had sex with his director? He gave a command performance in a gay porno film. Oh no, wait. It wasn't a film, it was real life. Here I am, pregnant and alone, while he had his legs up in the air.
Oh, even as a child, she's had a wild and vivid imagination. I'll see you both at dinner.
Sit down, Mom.
I don't think it's necessary for me to hear all this.
Hearing what I have to say is a small price to pay, considering I'm not like most daughters. You see, most daughters are not as considerate as I am. Most daughters would have dumped their mothers in their nursing home to, how shall I say it, unburden themselves. I must speak my mind. It is not healthy for me to keep things bottled up. Did you know that if a woman undergoes emotional turmoil during pregnancy, the baby has a greater chance of developing psychological disorders? Did you know that, Mom?
The emotional turmoil of a woman during pregnancy. Is that what you want to talk about?
No, I'd much rather talk about my husband, the weekend whore. Who would have thought Payne Blythe would have turned out to be such a rich faggot? Now, money may not buy you health, but it does buy you a weekend with the man of your choice. The man of your dreams can be a handsome hunk like Zac Efron, or he can be an aspiring actor by the name of Hunter Eastman.
Hunter, is this true? That was the secret film project you worked on this weekend?
Well, we needed the money so we wouldn't lose the Oak Street house.
Was there no other way to come up with the money?
What a good question. Poor Hunter, his parents are dead and they left him $40,000 to squander, which he did before he met me. And Ma, you're no better. I mean, I love Dad, but let's face it, he was a loser. Why couldn't you marry a rich man? Look at the financial condition he left you with, being practically destitute at your age and at the mercy of your only daughter.
Oh, I should have married Brandon Flax. He was a big shot at General Foods. My mother begged me to marry him, which was probably why I didn't. I see a lot of myself in you, Margot. Brandon was so unappealing. And your father was gorgeous. He had no money, no prospects, or ambition. But what your father lacked in ambition, he sure made up for in charm. There's only one problem with charm. You can't attach it to a deposit slip at the bank. And your father, with his stubborn pride, refused to let me work.
Ma, enough! We're talking about my issues, not yours.
Excuse me?
Ma, you've already lived your life. Let me put this to you in theatrical terms. If your life was a 3-act play, right now, you'd be in the final moments of your last act, but you don't have a lot of time to remain on stage before the final curtain comes down.
So, I've become useless because I'm not young. Someday you'll be old too.
Yeah, but you're old now. Look at Hunter's director. Did he choose someone old to have sex with? No, he chose a young, vibrant stud. And did he care that this young, vibrant stud was married? No. My husband left on Friday as a man with integrity and morals, and now he's back on this rainy Monday morning, a whore.
Once again, I went through with it because you insisted.
A real man would not have let me get my own way. A real man would have asked his best friend for a loan.
Chris, he never would have given us 70 grand.
He would have lent you $5,000 if only you thought to ask him.
5 would never have been enough. We needed 70.
You idiot! $5,000 would have been enough to do a little gambling in Vegas, and who knows, with a little luck on the roulette table, we could have won $500,000 or maybe even $1 million.
Why didn't this epiphany occur to you last Friday?
I can think of everything. You have a brain too. Oh, I hate it when they do that. Why must they make all that noise?
What noise?
Are you deaf? Don't tell me you're not hearing that.
So I'm old, I'm useless, and I'm supposed to be deaf. Oh, now I hear it. It's someone walking back and forth, that's all. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Why must this bother you so much? You know, you better give me a room on the bottom floor when we
This
move into
is
the
all
Oak Street house.
your fault.
Wait, me? What the heck did I do?
My mood swings and irritability are due to my pregnancy. And this was initiated by one of your morning erections.
Need I remind you that upon initiating the act, you had the option of resisting all my further advances. But no, you did the exact opposite. I believe your exact words were, and I quote, "Oh, Hunter, yes, oh, let me feel that warm gusher. Oh, God, it feels so good. Yes, I love it. End quote. Your dialogue was directly out of a Tracy Lords porn play.
What did you do? Recorded fucking? Ever hear private matters? Oh, no, you were going anywhere till I say so.
Whoa, don't listen to her. You are free to come and go as you please. Now, I don't think it's appropriate for your mother to hear all the details of her sex life.
Don't worry about my mother. She can handle it. Right, Ma? If I want you to stay, you'll stay. You'll need a room in the big house. You can't afford high rents, and therefore you cannot afford to disobey me. I have seen the current balance in your checking account, and it is pitiful. By all means, please continue where you left off.
I'd like to apologize in advance for what's certain to be some very graphic and inappropriate language during this wonderful family hour. I distinctly remember asking you if you wanted me to put a condom on, but you said no. As a matter of fact, your exact words were, "No, don't you dare! I need to feel your hot explosion inside of me."
Just my luck. One sperm with a keen sense of direction. Now be paid for it for the rest of my life. And speaking of life, my life may as well end because once the baby's born, my career will die.
Oh, come on, we've been through this before. You don't have to give up your career. I mean, plenty of actresses are great mothers. Look at Meryl Streep and Julia Roberts. They're icons and they're great mothers.
Their careers were solidified way before they were knocked up. I'm not going through with it. I'm not having it.
It's a bit late to have an abortion, don't you think?
But it's not too late to give it up for adoption.
You cannot be serious.
She doesn't know what she's saying. She's confused.
Ma, if we're really quiet, I can actually hear your arteries harden. Hunter, I've had many sleepless nights weighing my options. And the conclusion I've reached is I'd rather have my public consider me a remarkable actress and a devoted mother. You can't possibly understand what I'm feeling. Narcissistic women make horrific mothers, and if I can be a responsible mother, then I'd rather not be a mother at all. I'd rather fail as an actress at something that I love than be a success as a mother, something I'm sure I'll hate. There. I finally said what I dreaded saying for months.
I don't know who you are anymore. You don't have to choose between being an actress and a mother. You can have both.
An actor prepares. Audition. You know what I can do with all these looks? I can think about your ass. I'm sure after your sexually charged weekend, your anus has been stretched way beyond its maximum capacity.
That is uncalled for. You know what? Believe it or not, Kane never even once tried to penetrate me.
Oh please, what else could he have possibly done to you?
You'd be surprised.
What did he do? Tell me.
You know what I don't mind telling you? He offered me a part in his new screenplay. Yeah. Filming is set to begin in just about 3 weeks from now. The part of Trevor Gregory isn't the lead, but it's a juicy supporting role that's certain to get a lot of industry attention. I mean, can you believe it?
Is the part of Trevor a male whore?
Oh, Margot, stop it. Instead of putting Hunter through a guilt trip, you should thank him. How lucky you are to have a husband who'll go through any lengths to satisfy you, even if it goes against his principles. You wanted a house, he bought you a house. He did whatever he did to raise the money so that you could own the house of your dreams.
He raised the money by raising his dick.
Oh, who cares? You own the house you wanted, and the job's done. The weekend is over.
Including their blowjobs.
Let it go.
Ma, will you get the hell out of my house?
Gladly.
It's my fault. My first instinct was not to go through with it. I should have just trusted my instincts.
Something is not right. You came home and you took a shower. Wait. Can you go upstairs and tell them to stop making noise? I hate it when they make that noise.
Wait, hold on. I came home, took a shower, and then we made love, and then what?
When I kissed you, you weren't passionate.
What do you mean I wasn't passionate?
It didn't feel genuine. It felt mechanical. You were going through the motions without any passion.
Okay, keep in mind after having a weekend of fulfilling somebody else's fantasies, it's not exactly easy.
Fantasies that you refuse to elaborate on.
Fantasies that I was not at all accustomed to. I was physically exhausted.
Thank you for admitting you weren't passionate.
I've never said I wasn't passionate.
Hunter, you don't have to. Your conscience is bothering you, which is why you're saying you were physically exhausted to justify why you lack passion. You know what my problem has always been? I expect too much. I expected our honeymoon to never end. How unrealistic. I know. I mean, after being married to the same person for 4 years, it's impossible to go to bed every night and get really psyched.
Now what did I do?
You think I don't know what that was?
What was that?
A sympathy kiss.
No matter what I do, you're never satisfied. Nothing I do does ever pleases you.
Where are you going? To Payne Black's mansion, of course. Don't look surprised. You know where he lives and you know he worships you, so why shouldn't you go to him? It all makes perfect sense now. He gave you a part in his movie, and he can give you whatever you want. He has enough money for 3 lifetimes.
I've been minimizing my weekend of pain to spare your feelings. Pain awakened feelings in me that I've been suppressing. And I knew from the beginning, if I agreed to go through with this, that I'd like it. And if I liked it, I'd have a really hard time returning to you. So when I came home this morning, my worst fears were confirmed. It was an emotional mess. My problem was a big one. How do I tell my own wife that I had a good time? Being with Payne this past weekend was like being on vacation. Not only did I enjoy the sex with him, but I just reveled in that fraternal male bonding feeling. And you know, if it hadn't been for the fact that we needed the money, all these feelings would have just remained dormant. I hate to keep bringing it up, but I never would have gone through with it if you hadn't insisted. As far as the money goes, well, I put all but $7,000 in your name. It's yours, and so is the Oak Street house. And as for the baby, if you really think that being a mother will affect your advancement as an actress, I would love to have custody. Of course, that's up to you. I mean, as the mother, you have the upper hand. If confession is supposed to be great for the soul, I should feel a lot better than I do now. Right now, I hate myself.
Why?
Because I am such a cliche. How many plays have we seen about seemingly happily married couples? And in each one of them, it's never the wife who comes out as a latent homosexual. No, it's always the man who turns into the villain and has the shocking confession to make by the end.
Action.
There's something you don't know. Remember that guy that I was telling you about? The guy in the train who offered me his seats? Well, he offered me more than his seats. We kind of had an affair. His name is Martin, and he's the baby's father.
When I asked you if you had an affair with him, you said no.
I lied.
You said you never lie. You prided yourself on how honest you always are.
I lied to you about being honest.
How does anyone lie about being honest?
It's easy. At least it's easy for me.
As much as you think you know a person, fact is you really don't know them at all. People just show the side they want you to see. This man you had an affair with, what's his name? Marvin?
Martin West.
Do you love him?
In love? Come on, Hunter, you know me.
I don't know you at all.
I could never be capable of loving anyone, at least not more than I love myself. I mean, I appreciate the way Martin desires me. I'm obsessed with being wanted and sexually desired, and considering I am an actress, that isn't too hard to understand.
And you're certain that he's the father?
Yes,
When did you know?
almost immediately.
When were you planning on telling me?
Until you admitted that pain awakened your homo urges, I was never gonna tell you.
Maybe we deserve each other. I married you because I wanted a less complicated life. And I always wanted to be a father. I mean, adoption is a solution for a lot of gay men, but I wanted a son or daughter that's biologically mine. I think I always knew that I was gay, but by not telling you, I lied. And the worst part about it is I lied to myself. Where are you going?
To visit Martin. His wife Victoria is in LA and she won't be back till next Friday.
If you're gonna go see him, then you must love him. Do you?
Kind of.
Kind of? That's like being kind of pregnant. No pun intended. Well, let me put this to you in a different way. Do you think that over time you could learn to love him? Oh, not more than you love yourself, of course. But in time, could you?
I doubt it. Sooner or later, I'll get tired of him, just like I got tired of you. I could never be monogamous.
You realize what that makes you, right?
It makes me a man. The only difference is I have a vagina. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to visit Martin. I have this irresistible urge to pleasure him in ways his Victoria doesn't.
He's not gonna divorce his wife.
I wouldn't want him to. Technically, I'm still married to you.
Divorce is always an option for us.
But not until after Christmas. This way, he can give you a lot of money and you can buy me a few gifts.
Isn't Marvin gonna pay for you a lot of expensive gifts for you? I mean, he should. You're his lover now.
Unfortunately, his wife Victoria has access to his credit card statements, but Payne doesn't have a partner who will question his purchases.
He does now.
Oh, come on. I'm sure you won't mind if he buys me a couple of presents.
Why should he buy you anything?
He has more money than he knows what to do with. Why not talk him into buying me a really expensive gift? You can talk him into anything because he's obsessed with you. A car! A car would be awesome, please!
You are such a user.
Me. You're the one that manipulated the old queen to give you a part in this movie.
How can you say that?
Just be honest.
How can you be honest? You're an avowed liar. Seriously though, what is going to happen to Babe?
This kid deserves a mother who's devoted, and unfortunately, I'm not that person. I can only play a mother in television, film, and theater. I'm career-oriented. It's all about me and no one else, especially my son. Everyone says that actors are self-centered, so I guess I'm just typical of my time.
Do me a favor. Don't speak for all actors. And do me an even bigger favor. Don't put the baby up for adoption. Please, I've always wanted to be a father. Let me have custody.
How could you want to be a father of a baby that wasn't conceived by you?
What? That doesn't matter to me. I can still love a child that's not biologically mine and focus on my acting career. Please give me custody.
Let me think about it. Okay, I have the time to think about about it, and the answer is no.
Let me get this straight. You would rather have total strangers raise your son than your own husband?
I know myself well. I'd be very jealous if you turned out to be a good father. That's why I'd rather have strangers raising my son, especially since I don't plan to be a part of his life.
Payne is a rich man. If I stay with him, which I intend to do, your son will never want for anything. Don't you want your son to have every advantage in life?
You still don't get it, do you? My son loving you would be unbearable to me. It would emphasize my failure as a mother. Something I don't want to bring attention to, no. A clean break would be best.
Best? Best for who? You or your son?
Hunter! Why do you ask questions that you already know the answer to? Don't try to figure me out. You'll lose every time. Okay. I know I'm being unfair. You get to have custody of the baby. That's probably the most decent thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.